Hey, how's it going, YouTube? Harry here, back again. Today we are working on a General Electric freezer, standalone freezer. And the complaint with this one is it's not freezing, so it's not working. Went ahead and plugged in my thermometer, and it's about 70 degrees inside. We have the indicator here, high temperature. Obviously it's not cooling. They have a water bottle in here. Plug my probe at the vent because obviously the refrigerator is hot. So first thing you want to do with any repair is first thing I like to do with the no cool is make sure your compressor is running. If your compressor is not running, it's not going to cool. So you touch it, you can feel it and see what it does. If the compressor is vibrating, then obviously it's starting, it's running. If it's not, then it's not. Possible causes for a compressor not to start are going to be your relay, your timer. This has it should have a defrost timer, or the thermostat. Either one of those things are going to cause it not to start. So let's go ahead and check these. Alrighty. So like I was saying, you can touch this, you can feel it, and you can also hear it. I don't know if you can hear this one, but this compressor is starting. So the relay is good. Compressor starting, it's just not cooling. This refrigerator uses R134A, and it has one of two problems at this point. Because it is starting and it is running, so it either has a restriction or a leak. But this is a sealed system, which means it doesn't have a process port right here, a service port. So in order for us to see if it's a restriction or a leak, we need to add our gauges. So in order to add a gauge, we will be adding a bullet piercing valve so that it gives us access right here. So I'll show you how that's done. Just stay with me. Thanks. Alrighty, so when you get the piercing valve, this one's new. It was sealed, but it, got dirty. So, but anyways, this is what it looks like. It comes with two different fittings to fit the diameter of your pipe, two process tube, and the little Allen wrench to tighten this. So I'll show you how it's done. And once we got this, we can check the charge, we can check other things, pressures on here. So let me show you how it's done. Alrighty, so what you want to do is you want to take off these screws right here. You can use at this point, the little Allen wrench, or you can just unscrew them. They're not tight, so take them off, set them aside, and it comes in two pieces like this. So we're going to put it right in here like I said, and let's see, you grab the insert, put it underneath. They have a little hole right here to help keep it in place like this, and top piece here, and you screw it back on. Just tighten it up with your Allen wrench. make sure it's tightened so it doesn't move. Now you can go ahead and take this off, and at this point you can go ahead and hook up your gauge to it. Now it does have a little metal screw right here. This is what actually pierces the process tube and allows us access to the refrigerant. So what you want to do is turn it in. And it has a needle in the middle, which, like I said, pierces the tube. Okay, so notice our gauge is at 0 psi. Now that we pierced it, go back the other way. And you notice our gauge went into negative pressures. So at this point, we know that it's low on refrigerant, or once again, it has a clog, a restriction. See, it's at negative 18, 19. And now we have access to this. Okay, so there we go. This is how you check, how you install the service port. Now these are temporary. You should never leave these on. If you're in a pinch, I guess you can leave it on. You can charge it and go on your merry way. But these do tend to leak. So these are more or less meant for testing purposes. I personally don't like using these. The only reason I use them is if I need to recover or test. Obviously, once I test, I'm gonna have to recover in a bit. But they're not the best for this, but they are useful in these kinds of scenarios where we're trying to figure out what's going on with the refrigerator. So this refrigerator is not cooling, so the problem is it's either low on refrigerant at this point, or it is has a restriction. So how do we find out? Well, let's add some refrigerant. So give me a second, I'll be right back. Alrighty, back again. So like I was saying earlier, we have a refrigerator that is not cooling. We came in, checked the compressor. Compressor is running. The lines are warm or ambient temperature. Refrigerator is running. Everything seems to be working, just not cooling. Added a piercing valve, just to recap. Piercing valve and accessed the sealed system. When we did that, we noticed that our refrigerant pressures went into negative. So that means one of two things. Either one, it has a leak, or two, it has a restriction. But how do we find out? Well, the way to find out is to add some refrigerant to the refrigerator, freezer in this case. If when I put it in, my pressures are going to go into the positive. If they come back down to the negative, then I have a restriction. If they stay in the positive and start cooling, then I have a leak. So this is how we do it. So let's hook up our gauges to the refrigerant and add a little bit of refrigerant in here. Alrighty, so our gauge is still closed. We're testing here. What we want to do is grab our yellow hose And we're gonna put it into the tank. Now, turn it on. Make sure these are closed, otherwise you're gonna lose your spray tank. Now that it's on, you want to purge the line, get rid of any air that was in here. Okay. And at this point, we're still on the negative. And just crack it open a little bit. See, we're going back into the positive. And it just keeps coming back into negative. Air temperature is still at 70, 71. Okay, so technically speaking, I can add a little bit more refrigerant. And just wait. But see how it's going back in negative? This refrigerator has a restriction, so we're gonna have to do a sealed system. Open it up, replace the filter dryer, and purge the system, and get it back running. Add a service port. Alrighty, hope you enjoyed this. Hope it helps, and don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to share. Subscribe if you haven't, and thank you for being here. Thanks.